I am creating this video to disclose to everybody I know and everybody I don't know that I have been a victim of family scapegoat abuse my entire life, even now as we speak. This is a very real and sinister form of abuse that still haunts me and is still impacting all aspects of my life in every way, shape, or form. Even the community, my friends and my lovers, as well as their families, end up buying into the narrative that started a long time ago. Whether it was because they believed the horrible things or just knew they could get away with being cruel, I could not be sure, and I will never know. But it all started when I was fairly young, and started not only noticing all the different things that were not quite right, but I started talking about them and questioning those things. I could not have been maybe 10 or 11 years old, but I do know now that my mother must have been very concerned that I would tell other people. She would not be able to do the same thing she does any longer, and she would no longer be able to keep all of her horrible choices and behaviors under wraps. The failure to protect and the neglect, you could say it was maybe her family abuse if you're on the outside looking in, but it is much more sinister than that. By the time I was 13, she had my entire family believing the most horrendous things about me. It has been very weird, very confusing, and traumatic for me to navigate the conditions because everybody abused me in the family, my sisters, my stepdad, cousins, and it was always overlooked. I was never protected or had anybody to take a stand for me. It got to where my family, along with my mom, had laid down my reputation before I was even able to really get out and socialize and leave a mark in the community. I was already labeled bad, wild, trash, promiscuous, violent, and aggressive. My mother has been my worst enemy off and on my whole life, and that has been very confusing. And I find myself in a cycle of still being a scapegoat, still being abused. So I've come to the conclusion, and I know that it is my own doing at this point. Anytime you're being abused or in an abusive situation, you have to look inside and look at your situation very honestly. You see, when you are desperately trying to escape such a painful form of abuse, it is hard to make sound judgments. You want to be away from abuse so badly that many times you end up with another abuser, being abused again, but now without any support or anyone to call for help. And that's exactly what I've done since I've moved away from my hometown. Although I find myself with, of course, another abuser, my current husband, I'm going to make a different choice this time. I'm going to heal, and I'm going to be truthful and honest. I will look at my own behaviors so I can identify what choices I'm making and what I can do to empower myself and no longer perpetuate the cycle of being a victim. I want to help shine a light on family scapegoating abuse by taking you guys along with me as I free myself and learn how to stop being the scapegoat and just start becoming the GOAT.